Hello guys and welcome back to Higurashi Tsumihoroboshi chapter 5 Water Guns. Yeah, five. I remember it's 5. Couple things. First thing, I just want to go over the layered reality theory since I hate typing about it and someone asked, so I will tell. I feel like it's bloated. It's a meta theory. It doesn't really have much. I mean, it does have evidence, but it's not a overly strong theory. It's just an idea about the world building. Basically, like the multiverse theory, there's a bunch of infinite possibilities. Kind of, some people believe it's happening in the real world. You know, it happens everywhere. Marvel comics, whatever. It's a common thing. Overlaying basically means that some realities can interact with each other. Most of this evidence, if you can call that, is it's not like hard evidence pointing to it. It's more looking at evidence and inferring from it for it. A lot of it comes from Mayatashi, by the way. Mainly, it's the idea of, well, it's a good way to explain it. Not it's explain the stabbing not with explain the stabbing a bit if you want to believe that Shion didn't go there and kill, but she actually fell off and got knocked out Obishi's apprentice said. How do I? Oh my god, it's so. I hate talking about stuff like this because it just hurts your brain trying to wrap your head around it. I think the main point was there's examples where it seems like Shion physically couldn't control her body. Like she said she was actually being controlled. Obviously, you can say it's just her emotions, but there are times really late into the series where she says, you have the footsteps following her. She thought it was Satoshi. She thought it might be Oyashiro-sama. But there's in the end part, she said she was behind her, watching her act, which I find very suspicious. Like she's basically saying, "I'm looking at myself. I can't control myself at all. I'm just observing it," and it kind of fitted the narrative of that. Just to because I also used it to soft clear the footstep stuff, because the footstep stuff, it also seems very, very, very magical. Like it's very hard to explain it away with normal methods, except for like a mental paranoia, and everyone experiences the same things because they're in similar situations and environments, like Mizawa. But Shion herself experienced stomping and jumping around, so that kind of hurts that a bit. And I think that really, I think the whole, because it really focused on the idea that she's just looking at herself, especially, and it just escalates further until the actual stabbing scene where, you know, the screen actually slowly transits back to her, like falling down. It's a doozy. I don't even think I explained it well, but yeah, it's basically like we know we don't know how the routes work, but we know there's more possibilities. We know that there's not only the different arts, which are completely, or which have big differences, but there's also the bad ending of Mayatashi, which is a different route from Mayatashi, because we've seen in that route, which we'll never fully explore because it's just a bad ending. Keiichi figured out who Shion was early instead of mistaking her for Mion. She found out Shion was the killer, while in Mayatashi and Watanashi, he thought it was just a demon controlling Mion, or he really thought it was like Mion's body. So there's differences in the bad ending. So we know that there's also routes we'll never get to see, which supports the multiverse because obviously there's too many things to see, and we know that there are some that are way more similar. Like obviously Mayatashi and Watanashi are similar, but there's even more than that. I don't know. I hate talking about this, but I think I slightly painted the picture better. It's a doozy. Honestly, just go read the Mayatashi theory sheet. I'm sorry. Um, it's at the beginning. I'm pretty sure it's like at the beginning, and it has its own thing, and then I expanded a bit more in the footstep stuff. But yeah, there you go. I commented on it a bit, and I talked about it a bit. Any more service, you'll need to go see it for yourself. Excuse me. Now, introduction time. What happened last time? Big stuff happened. Rina and Tepe are together. I guess I was kind of jumping the gun, but I think it's like a 90% chance that Rina is Tepe's lover and she was the one who was killed in Tsumiboroboshi. Found out that she's scamming the dad pretty hard. Again, I think it's a 95-5. Like, there's a chance that she legitimately loves the dad, but I really don't buy it. I don't want to give her the benefit of the doubt, honestly. Kasai isn't the boss of the Blue Mermaid. He's the boss of a different hostess club. Now, I did say that I actually think this might sound weird, and it'll probably be disapproved soon. But I think there is a chance. I think it's a 60-40 with Rena killing killing Rina, alright? But I also think that there's a 40% chance that Shion does it. Again, it's killed in the traditional Watanabe style. Rena can do it because she's kind of weird with the Oyasho sama knowledge, but so can Shion, I feel. And, ripping out the guts is kind of torturous. But I don't hate the idea that Shion does it because she knows that she's trying to lure Tepe back. Instead of doing it because she dislikes Rina, she's doing it to lure Tepe back to Hinamizawa to torture Satoko because she hates Satoko. I actually do not hate that idea. Tsumihoroboshi is such a weird arc. I think it's the hardest arc to wrap your head around just because every real suspect it just disappears in the second half. Rena's done, Mion Shion's done, Takano Oishi's done. What can you even theorize about it? But to be honest, I was thinking more about Takano the most, but I don't hate the idea that Shion's also playing around in the background. But yeah, there you go. That's all I got. Let's just get into this. See what Ren is going to do. I'm not saying she's killing her yet. She probably won't just start with killing her. She's probably going to get a confrontation. So let's see that. Should be fun. Are we going back to KG Vision? That'd be kind of weird. Okay, so we are sticking with Renovision. It's very weird that we even had Keiichi Vision. Was there a point to that? What did I learn from Keiichi Vision? Except for, I guess, his thought process about battling with Rena and fun times. But I guess it was also fun for the meme stuff and the Angel Mort. So never mind. But yes, I'm glad we're starting with Rena. Don't blue ball us with some Keiichi Vision, alright? Yes, we're asking about Kasai, seeing if he can help us. Because they do kind of seem scared of him. Mr. Lanky himself. He pretty much is.
シオンのやつ、私と比べると突拍子もないことをするからさ。監視役が必要なわけよ。
ミオンもシオンもその意味においちゃ互角だと思うぞ。
I mean, technically, but I don't know about that. Keiichi couldn't cut into the conversation. They ended up making a lot of noise, teasing each other like they always do. Mion made it sound like that man, Kasai-san, is some sort of territory boss in Otonomiya. It wouldn't be easy for me to meet him in person. But because he's Shi-chan's watchdog, I might be able to find a way. The problem, though, is that I don't have any connection to Shi-chan either. Well, we have Mion. I don't know about their relationship, but apparently they had a sleepover and none of them have any indications of injury, so I think it's good. I think we're doing alright. Though Xian might have just gotten like a shot of hatred after seeing Teppei, so I don't know about that. She might have gotten aggroed because of that encounter. I'm really sussing Xian. I honestly do think she could be responsible for stuff in this, but we'll see. This is the answer. I doubt that it'll be too mysterious. We hang around every once in a while whenever she comes to Hinamizawa, but I've never called or visited her. I have no idea how we can meet. Even if I can meet Kasai-san, there's no guarantee that he'd help me. He seems like the kind of person who doesn't like to gossip about others. He told me about Rina-san at the coffee house only because Shi-chan pushed him to. Plus, the situation could grow worse very quickly while I waited for the chance to meet him. So any help he might offer could come too late. I remember Kasai-san told me that her next step, Rina-san, usually uses her partner to threaten their catch. That would signify the end of her performance. They were going to take all of my father's money. I wasn't feeling a sense of crisis yet, but that time might be coming very soon. Even as I was at school, taking a class peacefully, that man might already be at the house right at this moment, threatening my father to hand over his bank books. Once I became anxious, I get more and more anxious. I feel a bit pressure on my chest as if the ceiling had collapsed on me. Oh boy, Teichi. Teichi didn't toss me yawning. He feels so lofty in this one, especially like the last chapter with his comments before she left for the dump. I didn't notice if he was this lofty in other chapters.
俺はごめんだね。せめて火星人が襲来するくらいのことが、毎週とは言わないまでにも月末くらいには欲しいところだぜ。あ、定期テストはなしでだぜ。
もし本当に火星人が攻めてきて世界中が滅ぼされてひなみ沢も焼け野原になったらケイチ君は退屈が紛れて満足かな。
Rena guards Keiichi's light jab and hits him with the right straight.
かな。
いや、そこまでは言ってねえよ。何かアクシデントの一つもないと退屈で溶けちまいそうだぜって言いたかっただけだぜ。
He had no idea what I've been going through, of course. That's why he says that. Yeah, we know Keiichi's insensitive. It's a long-running fact. One day, I mean, I guess he'll never work on it because we keep going through the same time period, but that's life, Keiichi. Your next reincarnation, be more sensitive. Did I skip that? I might have skipped that. But I was still irritated by his insensitivity. I couldn't understand why he wouldn't be satisfied with such a peaceful life. He never has to doubt that today and tomorrow will be as fun as yesterday. I was all too aware that boring and peaceful days could be destroyed all of a sudden. I knew that boring and peaceful days could come to an end all of a sudden because your mom wanted to divorce your dad. I knew that you could feel like you didn't belong anywhere in your own house because your dad had gotten a new girlfriend. Even so, you had to repeat the same kind of day over and over again. That's why I want to live every day happily in order to be prepared when the world comes to its end.
レナは日々が幸せそうでいいよな。
Nice.
そういうのもスキルなのかな。ちょっと羨ましいぜ。
I mean, she puts up the act very well.
そんなの羨ましがられても困るの。
日々を退屈でなく幸せに過ごすのって何かコツでもあるのか？あるなら教えてくれよ。
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the music stops and Rena shouts, but I might be too early for that.
そんなの簡単だよ。気づくだけだもん。
気づくって？
There's no way he could realize it. And it was probably better that he didn't, because that meant he was truly happy.
気づくだけだよ。幸せな日々が有限であることに。
Boom. This conversation definitely didn't happen in Higurashi. For sure. The situation might have happened, but bye, Mion. The three of us walked home from school like we always did. Mi-chan said goodbye to us at the corner of the street, where she took her separate way home. She walked away waving, but I chased after her. Mi-chan apparently thought she dropped something, and she looked around to see what she dropped.
忘れるところだった。実はね、昨日喫茶店でしーちゃんと笠井さんに会ったの。その時にね、笠井さんの落とし物を拾ったの。
Of course he hadn't dropped anything, I was lying. If I could meet him, I'd just show him whatever, tell him I thought it was his, and apologize for my mistake.
へえ、あ、そう。それありがとう。
And convince Mion not to take it.
届けとくよ。
それでね、レナが直接返したいの。
Mi-chan looked surprised. I couldn't blame her. I'd met him only once. It's a little fishy. It's weird to want to give something back in person to someone you barely know.
まあ、そりゃ構わないけど、なんでまた？
サングラスにおひげがね。
Cute.
ちょっぴり可愛かったの。
Nice. Could I fudge my true intentions with my cute mode? She actually calls it cute mode. I thought that was just the name for it. I didn't know she refers to it as it. I tried it anyway. Or maybe she said already. I'm tripping. As per usual. Mi-chan usually takes words at their face value, and indeed she seemed to buy it.
口ひげを引っこ抜いてお持ち帰りしちゃダメだよ。
で、その、どうかな？会えるかな？
忙しいのか暇なのか、全然見当つかない人だからね。今度、ひなみ沢に来る用事がないか聞いておくよ。
I needed to know when, as soon as possible. Of course, I wasn't going to say I wanted to meet him today, but at least tomorrow or the day after tomorrow.
なんだよ、お前ら何やってんだ？
レナがね、新しい恋に目覚めちゃったんだってさ。
違うよ。
なんだそりゃ、面白そうな話だな。俺も混ぜろ。
I didn't want her to leave it up in the air, so I told her I think I should give it back to him as soon as possible. I'm sure he's looking for it too. Mi-chan said okay, and walked away waving. I hadn't yet thought about how I was going to ask for help when I would meet him. He seemed to be in a higher position than Rina-san and her partner. If he agreed to help me, it would be very encouraging. But there's a possibility that he'd tell me he didn't want to interfere in other people's private matters. He could just say the whole thing was another love triangle between a father, his daughter, and his lover.
じゃあなレナ、また明日な。
また明日ね。
Oh, I don't know if you can hear the crickets. It's nice aesthetic, so I'll just leave it there. For this episode only. I don't know. I love the sound of crickets at night. It really helps me go to sleep. I said goodbye to Keiichi-kun and walked home alone. After Keiichi-kun was gone, everything went quiet and my head became clear. What I needed at the moment was quiet time to think about what I should do from then on. I shouldn't depend on Kasai-san to solve my problem. He'd most likely decline my request, so I have to think about some alternatives. It's probably better than that I just do that. Somehow blackmail her? I don't know. It would have been great to get a picture, but would have probably been pretty hard. A love triangle between a father, his daughter, and his lover. Those words bothered me because I've seen an unhappy triangle like that before. That sort of thing had happened to Satoshi-kun. Satoshi-kun experienced it last year. He fought for his sister in a triangle with his aunt. Did he though? Did the aunt love anybody? I think the aunt slightly liked Satoshi more. I don't know. It was the same situation as mine. I'm trying to protect to fight my father. Right, I guess Satoshi's protecting Satoko, and the aunt's secretly malicious. But there's like not really any even pretending to love, I think. So it's kind of different. Satoshi-kun fought alone. Nobody helped him. All I did was give him my sympathy and compassion. I didn't think I could do anything more than that. I felt sorry for him, but I didn't really help him out. Irresponsibility. I tried to cheer him up, and I probably told him something that I thought would make him feel better, but that hurt him instead. I recently realized how much I hurt him with my insensitivity because Keiichi just hurt me the same way. I'm going down the same path that Satoshi-kun went last year. I felt like I'm experiencing deja vu. An unusual repetition. Dun dun dun. It's kind of crazy. Like, we're seeing how self-aware Rena is, but it's like minus the part where she's creepily obsessed with Oyashiro-sama. Like, that's a big part of her character, I thought. In the other arts, like, she definitely knew something about it more. But it really isn't showing in this at all, which is interesting. Ahaha, would that mean that I'd be the one who gets demoned away this year? I should be okay. I wasn't thinking about running away from Hinamizawa. Was I? I wasn't thinking about running away from Hinamizawa, but I thought about running away from my home many times. That's why I made the place I could escape in... blah 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 blah. That's why I made the place I could escape to in the garbage dump. That dump happened to be in Hinamizawa. But what if it wasn't? Running there would be the same thing as running away from Hinamizawa. I shouldn't think like that. Oyashiro-sama would get mad at me. Well, she has this, but she's not like... I don't know, she almost felt like a zealot. A zealot for Oyashiro-sama. Or zealous for Oyashiro-sama is probably better. Okay. Of course, when I bring this up, this is happening. Let's see what she says first then. Oyashiro-sama is really scary. I saw flickering lights in my head. Oh no, every time I tried to remember that time, my mind would stop working properly. I remembered the vivid colors of my psychoactive drugs. The flickering lights and clouds started spreading in my head. They were so bright and annoying. Don't try too hard to remember. Don't try too hard to remember. Maybe she... Oh, I see. So the dreading probably happened after the incident with the baseball bat. I don't know. I kind of assumed from the other chapter that it was for like depression or whatever. But I don't. Again, the timeline's still muddled, but I'm pretty sure the dreads were after that, or she was on dreads when she beat someone. Could be either or. No. I couldn't stop the flickering lights in my head. I couldn't have that feeling. I had to fill my heart with another feeling. Yeah, there's no time for these crazy flickering lights in my head. I had to think about what I should do when Kasai-san declined my request for help. I had to protect my father from Rina-san and that bad man. Wait, why was I calling her that? Rina is Rina. Rina. She's a bad person who deceived my father and tried to bring us unhappiness. No need for honorifics. Bad people bring bad things into the world without even doing anything. They're different from the other 90% of the people who aren't bad. If you let them loose, they'll even ruin the people around them. When you have one bad tangerine in a box, it spreads its fungus to the other tangerines around it. That's what bad people are like. It's an interesting analogy. Obviously, it's a little bit twisted, but I don't hate it. I mean, bad people. Though, Rena's statement is, even if they're not doing anything, they're still bad people, which is interesting. Just inherently corrupt. Not saying it's right, but it's cool. I can't remember how Satoshi-kun resolved his triangle last year. I could still see the flickering lights in my head. They're still flickering. 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 I don't know what the heck's happening here. Obviously, she was so drugged up in a period, or not even drugged up. That's a loud train, just my windows open. For all the peeps that can't hear Mr. Train, wants to be heard. He heard you guys talking about him behind his back. But yeah, maybe she was just on drugs for a long period of time, and it just messes with her memories. Not that she was like super drugged up. I don't know. Obviously, you don't know unless we need more info. Just as the swirl of flickering lights were making me dizzy, I saw my house. I also saw Rina-san's scooter parked by the side of the gate. The moment I saw the bike, the flickering lights disappeared and I regained control of myself. Rina-san spent the night last night. She told me she had work today in the evening, so she should be leaving soon. But I didn't want to be around her even for a little while until she left. I said I'm home real loud, rushed into the house, pretended that my friends were waiting outside, and rushed out of the house. But Rina-san stopped me.
あら、おかえり、レイナちゃん。
あ、こんにちは。
It's the skunk. This was the first time I thought Rina-san's smile was ugly. It only stood to reason. I had realized the scheme she was hiding behind the smile.
今日ね、お父さんと一緒にお昼は5グラまで行ってきたのよ。
Still, slight percent chance she actually likes the father. Extremely slight.
キーマカレーがとっても美味しいお店でね。
Love curry. Oh man, it's not even Indian. I love Coco's curry in Japan. If you ever go there, it's a chain. Get it. It's so good. My father poked his head out of the living room and he says, I want to go there again next time you go. I really like that curry. I wondered if he meant with me next time or with me and her. Anyway, I hate when Rina-san says your father.
それでレトルトをお土産に買ってきたの。
Blessed, but I still hate you.
後でぜひ食べてみてね。美味しいから。
That voice too. It adds to it. Good
レイ
job.
ナちゃんはこのお店知ってる？
Everyone's dropping Reina on us too. Unlucky. I mean, it made sense that the father tells us that, but I did know the restaurant she was talking about. I saw it in a magazine. It's a new restaurant that just opened recently. I also remembered that it was an expensive restaurant. The amount of money they spent on the take-home curry alone must have been enough to cover the cost of all our dinners for several nights. Jesus. High spenders, man. Since I was aware of what was in the bank books, it was hard for me to stay calm.
それは楽しみです。ありがとうございますね、皆さん。
Oh.
それでね、レイナちゃん。ちょっとみんなでお話があるんだけど。
No, it's too early.
ごめんなさい。ちょっと友達を待たせてるんで出かけますね。
Yeet. Out of here.
またゴミ捨て場で宝探しなの。
レイナちゃんは宝探しが好きね。私も今度行ってみようかしら。
Oh
では
man.
すみません。失礼します。
Might happen, Rina. Every time Rina-san moved her arms or head, the scent of her perfume struck my nostrils. I hate the smell of her perfume, so I couldn't stay there a second longer. See ya. I rushed out of the house and started running to get away from her perfume. The rubber band inside me, the one called Rena, was stretched all the way to its limit. I'm pretty sure I'd explode and go crazy if the rubber band broke. I didn't want to feel that inside my own house. My house was supposed to be the place where I could open my heart freely. I ran away. I ran away from there. I ran farther and farther away from there because it was no longer a place I belonged. It's not that I had a destination in mind. I was just running away. I was running to escape to a place where I did belong. Didn't I decide to fight against that woman? Didn't I decide to fight against either Didn't I decide to fight against her either by myself or with my father? But then once I saw her face smile, a chill ran up my back. It was like I picked up a stone, found a carpet of buds underneath, and put it back on the ground in a hurry. I rushed out of the house as fast as I could. Did I want to fight or did I want to run away? Was I just choosing to spend... Oh wait, I don't know. Never mind. Was I just choosing to spend peaceful time at my hideout, believing that tomorrow would be the same as today? I couldn't do that. I didn't know when they'd spring their trap. I couldn't afford to waste any time. I knew that, deep down. I knew that, but I just wanted to run away. I couldn't stop myself from running away, and so I did run away. At times like this, the mattress in my hideout would feel so soft. That I knew. The cries of the Higurashi were soothing to the ears. Honestly, Higurashi and cicadas just sound like crickets on steroids. So I honestly wouldn't mind it, but I know they're super loud, so I probably would mind it. But, I don't know. I like it. They sounded as soft as my mattress. They were like music. They didn't force any feelings upon me. They cried as if to tell me just be who I am. It was always so quiet here that I immediately noticed the purr of an engine coming closer. People used to come here to make lots of noise during the dam conflict, but now nobody really comes here. This is a place forgotten. So it was rare to see somebody come through here at all. Oh, it could be Tomataki, I guess. Tomataki's the only person we know that really snoops around here. Or it could be Rina. I sat on the roof of an abandoned car and waited for the intruder to go away without looking their way. But the purr of the engine stopped. I'm not stupid. If it stopped, I knew exactly who it had to be. Tomotaki. Or Rina. Or the dad. I heard the person calling me, but I ignored it once. Or is it Oishi? No, it's Rina. Okay. The person came closer, making it harder for me to ignore her, and she called my name again. I turned around this time.
Rina-san.
This is cursed.
レイナちゃん、結構耳遠い方?
And she knows we don't have our friends around. This is a little sketch. No. Hatchet. We're dead. No, I'm joking, but this is the confrontation part.
すみません。多分逆風だったんで聞こえにくかったんだと思います。
Does she know? Oh no. Oh no, bad vibes. She seemed to buy my poor excuse. She smiled and said, "Yeah, it happens sometimes."
一人? お友達は?
一人で遊んでますよ。
Caught in a lie.
その年でなかなか渋いわね。
Is she not gonna call us out on it? Rina-san stretched and looked across the huge garbage dump.
しかし、よくもこれだけ盛大にスクラップばっか捨てたもんよね。知ってる?
Bro, what if Tomotaki comes and mediates this? Does this stand again? I feel like something spicy is gonna happen. Yo, where's Tomotaki when you need him?
昔、平坂の2丁目にもタイヤの外れた車ばっかり積んであるところがあってね。
That place has never been name dropped in here, so I have no idea. I wasn't interested in Rina-san's old story, but I pretended to listen and nodded. Sorry, I'm feeling a little bit weird, but that's okay. This is a weird story. She doesn't take this road to go back to Okonomiya. I guess she knew I'd be here and came by to see me. What did she want? It was obvious that she was just trying to make conversation. She probably took it personally when I avoided her earlier, which must be why she was here to butter me up. It would be better for her not to have any conflicts with the daughter of the man she's seen, no matter what the intention of seeing him is. In that sense, it was reasonable action for her to take. While I listened to her old story, all I could think about was when she was going to leave. Didn't I have to fight against her? Didn't I decide to fight against her? Didn't I find out her plot at the coffee house in Okonomiya? Didn't I find out that this woman is squeezing money out of my father when I looked inside of his cash box? I know who you are. Please leave my father alone. How easy would it be if those 2 sentences could solve the problem? She'd probably deny it. Even if I told her about what I heard at the coffee house, I have no evidence of her plot. If she said she did it because the vulgar man was threatening her, there would be nothing I could do. But I know this woman is a bad person. I know something horrible will happen in the near future if I waste time like this. A strange, tense feeling started coming over me, but I didn't know how to let it out. As the feeling started running high, I became unable to stand the smell of her perfume. I wanted to put a certain distance between me and her, so I climbed down the slope of the scrap heap. I kept going down and down, the slopes of the garbage dump. When I turned around, I started coming down as well, muttering. Was she following me? In order to run away from her, I started running down the slope all the way to the bottom, went around behind some trash piles, and arrived at the front of my hideout. My escape was meaningless. Not only was she going to catch up with me eventually, All I did was let her know the way to my hideout that nobody is supposed to know about. I wanted to make sure she never saw my precious hideout. I was about to leave, but then she appeared.
へえ、ちょっと素敵よね。秘密基地みたい。
Bro, I really feel like it's dangerous for Rina right now. It's either gonna be a verbal thing or Rena's gonna snap. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be some verbal thing. It's way too early for Rina to kick the bucket, but...
私だけの秘密の隠れ家なんですよ。ここには誰も来ないし、誰にも何も聞こえません。
Good one. I felt strange hearing myself say that.
レイナちゃんだけの秘密の隠れ家嬉しいわね。そんな場所に連れてきてもらえるなんて。
Rina, I think you actually might die. I don't know. She must have thought I told her my secret because she was worth sharing it with. She looked happy. She found the station wagon, looked inside of it through the window, and went, oh, ooh, and ah, excitedly. This is just really cursed. This is a secret place that nobody else knows. I felt like my consciousness was separating from my body, like I was floating. Yo, we just talked about this at the beginning. Okay, this was what I was talking about in Mayatashi. When characters, again, it's like she can't control herself. Are we really gonna call it an explosion of emotions again, like we did with Shion? Isn't this just too uncanny that both of the characters are feeling the exact same way, and that they're like watching their own selves and they have no control over it while they're doing some heinous acts? No, it sounds like some layered reality to me. It's over. I think Rina's actually dying. That's surprising, but it shouldn't be till she died way before. That spooked me. That's just a loud motorcycle or something. She died way before the Higurashi festival, right? They found her like in a sewer or something, like in the spring. So actually, no, the timeline's already kind of messed up, but it wouldn't be too surprising. You're dead, Rina. Pack your bags, unless Tomotaki stops it somehow. That would be hilarious. Or he blackmails us after watching the act. But it didn't feel good. Like when I drank Amazake, it was more like being carsick. I felt like I was going to throw up. My brain was probably secreting some chemical in order to avoid facing the reality that I'd have to stay with this woman, that I couldn't run away from her. But even if my brain tried to avoid recognizing it, the reality, what, you're name dropping reality? Come on, it's confirmed. It's confirmed. It's like, if I'd give it a 50-50. It's like more like a 10-90, but 50-50 it.
そうそう。ねえ、レイナちゃん。
We're popping off. Say your prayers, Rina.
なんでしょう。
どうしたの？気分悪いの？
いえ、平気です。
I inhaled fresh air and pulled my consciousness back to reality. I didn't feel like throwing up anymore, but I still felt off balance. I leaned onto a strap of garbage to keep my balance. To be fair, it looks like we're on a slope a bit, but that's just the background image. You never know.
私はレイナちゃんのこと好きよ。レイナちゃんは私のこと好き？
何ですか突然。
Good one. I said that because I didn't want to say that I liked her. Yeah.
私ね、ずっとあなたのお父さんとお付き合いをしているんだけど、いろいろと話し合ってね。
Yeah. I don't know. She gives a... Honestly, I'm gonna keep it like 100. I don't even feel bad vibes from her right now. It's all coming from I did at the beginning. I don't think there's bad vibes right now. Though the fact that she was muttering when we were running away, maybe, but I don't know. I don't know, dude. I wouldn't be surprised if Rena does it and then she somehow finds out that she really was planning to leave Tepe. That would. And she just likes a lavish lifestyle. It's the taste from being a hostess. I don't know. I don't know why I'm giving her so much benefit of the doubt. I'm just such a nice person. Who would have thought? I needed to stop feeling like this. Get up, Rena. I'd heard something like this before. A part of me was trying to understand what this woman was trying to say, but another part of me was trying not to. I felt as if her words were bouncing around in my head, and I started having a headache.
それでね、これからのことを真剣に話し合ったのよ。これからの生活やいろいろよ。
What?
レイナも秋人おじさんのこと好きでしょ？
Bad
それで
vibes.
ね、お母さん。
What's going on? Mother, what are you thinking about, Rena Ryugu? This is an important moment. You're about to have a one-on-one battle with Rina-san. No, Mom, what about Dad? What about me? I don't want you to divorce him. I don't want you to get remarried to anybody else. No, please don't divorce him. I'm not going to let you do that. I'm not going to let you get remarried.
再婚なんて許さないです。
Declaration. We're in, boys. No sidestepping. Let's go.
お父さんとどういう付き合い方をしたって構いませんが、再婚なんて許さないです。
Okay, it's gonna be easily decided if she's actually just after the money now. It's really easy, just from the response. I don't know. Let's go! She must have not thought that I'd say it straight out like that. She looked stunned. After a while, she broke the silence with her laughter. That's not laughter. Those are dots. Unlucky.
拒絶もあるかなとは思ってたけど、
Yeah,
こ
okay.
こまではっきり言われるとは
My bad vibes meter just rose up
思
from
わなかっ
that.
たもんだから。
I don't know why.
拒
You're
絶も
done.
あるかなと思っていました。
I don't know. Now it's lowering. I don't know why. I just said that.
私が拒絶していたのに気づいていたのは
It's a verbal
意外でした。
battle. Whatever. We're Team Rena anyways. What does it matter? Ooh.
そんなのわかるでしょ。
Look at that rare angry Rena face. That is not pleasant to look at.
あんた、私と目を合わせるとすぐ逃げるもん。それで分かってないなんて
At
思っ
least
て
your
たよ。
angry face. At least your angry face goes well with Tepe's angry face.
子供は嫌ね。
Okay, see ya. Okay, whatever. It's over. You're done. 100. It's over. I gave you the benefit because I'm such a good person. I'm sorry for that, Rena. Let's go. She frowned, revealing her ugly self. It should have been the first time I saw her face like that, but I wasn't surprised at all. Her face had looked like that to me from the beginning.
できれば上辺だけでもあんたとは仲良くしてたかったんだけど、ここまで嫌われちゃ難しいわね。私のどこが気に入んないの？高額のために教えてよ。
最初から
Savage.
匂いも嫌い。
One vicious word came out from my mouth after another. I didn't have wings, but I felt as if I was flying up to the sky. I felt weird and uncomfortable, but also exhilarated. I felt as if was letting another me use my body. Layered reality. Also, I totally forgot this example, but Satoko changing to her ultimate form in Mayatashi too. Rika also. All examples of random changes that don't match the characters since this time. Possible layered reality stuff. I was in the middle of a disastrous battlefield, but I felt like it wasn't even my business.
そりゃあ好都合ね。私もあんたのこと嫌いだったから。
Whoa.
お互い様よね。
Unlucky.
なめんなクソガキ。ガタガタ言わされていいか。
Alright. Yo, imagine if Tomotaki actually comes. That would be hilarious.
二度と家へ来ないでください。
Get out of here.
私が絶対に許さない。
We beat someone with a bat before. We have practice.
別にあんたに許してもらわなくてもいいんだけど。
I wonder how much cards Rena's gonna play. Is she gonna talk about Teppei and stuff, or is she gonna save that for a sneak attack?
まあ、あんたがうまく立ち回ってお父さんに再婚を断念させたきゃさせてごらんって。
Surprised how easily Rena just is letting this out, huh? I would play it better, I think.
そんなの今さら意味ないし。
She didn't look intimidated by me at all, and that made me feel a little intimidated in return. Why was she so confident of her absolute control over my father? She definitely has the edge. I think that's easy to see. She had to have more than confidence to be able to act as fearless as this. She must have something tangible. Oh no, did the father buy a ring? Before I asked her what it was, she told me herself.
私ね、プロポーズされたの。
no. No, but that doesn't matter. We know about Teppei, so we can just turn it around. Easy. Easy.
嘘だ。
Ooh.
嘘じゃないわよ。本当よ。
I mean, she doesn't have to be lying, Rena. You know she has Teppei. Don't get baited. I mean, it sucks because this is the same excuse the mom made, so it's not gonna help her mental, but still. It's a lie, it's a lie, it's a lie. It's a big lie. She has to divorce because she got pregnant. She has to get married because she got pregnant. That's a lie. That's a big lie.
向こうからのお願いだから聞かないわけにもいかないしね。
Yeah? Yeah? I mean, no judging, but Christian hostesses kind of go against each other. I mean, you can be one. Just if you are a serious Christian, probably won't work out too well.
指輪ももらっちゃったし。それに結婚を前提のお付き合いだったわけだしね。
God damn it. It's always a funny, man. Like, are we on a date with marriage in mind? I don't know. I see that line a lot in like the with marriage in mind with the action a lot in J dramas. It's always kind of
指
weird.
輪まで送っておいて、今さらちゃぶ台返しなんてことになると。
Teppei! Say
大きな問題が
Teppei!
多いわよね。
Rena, you can flip this around. I don't know if you're thinking about it though.
それが最初から目的のくせに。私は聞いてるんだ。お前と鉄という男が二人で喫茶店で話しているところを聞いてるんだ。
Okay. Good.
お父さんのお金を目当てに近づいたのを知っている。
Bro, just name drop Kasai. Name drop Kasai as a bluff. We're gonna need it.
ひなみ沢の旦那と呼んで詐欺にかけようとしていることを知ってる。葛西さんに聞いたから全部知ってるんだ。
Ooh, she named it. That might actually be enough to turn it.
詐欺師だってことも全部知ってるんだ。
あら、全部知ってるんだ。
Just say you'll tell Kasai. I don't know.
あらららららら。
How is she not phased? This is a good shot though. Just in case we need a thumbnail. Get a close-up Rena. She's not dying yet. She'll die soon though. After this, I think she's gonna win this verbal battle. And then Rena's gonna be pushed into a corner. Before I knew it, Rena was standing right in front of me. We glared at each other with our faces almost touching.
で、レイナちゃんはそこまで知っててどうしようってわけ？
お父さんに二度と近づかないでください。
Bluff Kasai. Use the Kasai card.
嫌よって言ったら。
What's she gonna do against Kasai?
こんな秘密の隠れ家に誘ってくれての話だからね。そういうお話かなとは思ってたのよ。だってここ秘密の隠れ家なんでしょ。誰も知らなくて誰にも何も聞こえない秘密の場所なんでしょ。
I haven't commented, but I do like this BGM. It's very
そうです
funky.
よ。誰も知らなくて誰にも何も聞こえない、誰も訪れることのない忘れられた場所。
Our faces were so close to each other that our noses could almost touch. I kind of. That'd be such a cool CG. Show it. But I guess they wouldn't want to make a Rina CG. I knew what I was talking about, but I didn't know what would happen next. She dead? She might be dead. I don't know anymore. I'm confused. It's almost been an hour. It feels like it's been 30 minutes. God damn it. Time flies when you're having fun. I couldn't back down now that I'd come to this point. But I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I should do.
いやだ、何をマジになってんだかね。ほらほら、仲直り。
Rina started laughing and slapped me on the back. My expression didn't change and I kept staring at Rina. But I didn't notice her real intention of putting both of her arms around my neck. The tension broke. I already stretched thin and Rina squeezed my neck hard. Jesus Christ. Okay, never mind. Rina's probably dying. I was She's what? She's trying to kill us? I guess since we named, maybe she was really threatened after we know everything and we name dropped Kasai. I was openly hostile, but I didn't realize Rina's evil intentions until she started choking on me.
子供のくせに舐めやがってよ。もうちょいでうん千万って金が転がるんだよ。上辺だけでも仲良しってことになってりゃ小遣いの少しもやろうって思ってたのにな。口ばっかり滑らしか、うんだらねえとこでまだるっこし。血にさらせやこら。
Jesus Christ. Okay, Rina. I can't believe I had faith in you. Unlucky. I tried to pry her hands off my neck, but I didn't have enough strength to do so. No, Tomataki! Dropkick from nowhere! I predict we're gonna, like, grab a piece of scrap on the ground and stab her with it. Made sense, we're in the good environment for it. I doubt it's all just rocks. It's just the background.
殺しはしたかなかったんだけどね。二度とこんなうまいかもには会えないだろうしさ。
You're dead.
てめえ閉めて、うん千万なら悪くはないさ。
Probably. Imagine if Rena just... No, it doesn't even make sense. Rena just dies here. It was her ghost all along in the dump yard.
どうせ巻き上げたら蒸発するつもりだったしさ。
Hawoo. I was going to just... Oh, wait, why am I reading?
上等くれたらこの野郎。
The world around me got darker and darker. I had never known an evil intention like this, namely the intention to kill me. It didn't scare me, though. That's because being scared is a feeling that people use to express how they feel when they see wildfire on the other side of a river. People on the island with wildfire with their deaths right in front of them, they don't get scared. If I loosened my grip on her hands even a little bit, she'd crush my throat. This was a simple competition to see who was stronger. Rina wanted to get into the most advantageous positions, so she tried to push me down to the ground so that she could mount me. If I let her do that, I wouldn't stand a chance. I tried to keep my current position, but I was losing a lot of energy by being choked. It was only a matter of time before Rina could push me down. I lost my balance on purpose. I tried to fall backwards in order to put her off balance. Oh yeah, I forgot they were still on. I already thought they were down on the ground, but she was just choking us while we were standing, huh? No tits. No tits. I couldn't hold my breath long enough to keep that strength competition, so I had no choice but to take that chance. Wanna bet Rena kills, but she doesn't mess up the body. Someone else is doing that. And that someone else is probably Takano. We fell on the ground tangled. I mean, it made sense, right? Obsessed with the watching Higurashi stuff. It's killed in the old style. All falls. It sounds like Takano to me. We fell on the ground, tangled together. But as Rina was strongly determined to kill me, she didn't even take her hands away from my neck after she fell. However, my actions made Rina loosen her grip on my throat. It wasn't loose enough for me to break free of her grip, but it gave me a few moments to use my hands for something other than stopping her from crushing my throat. If I hadn't taken this chance, I would have been done for. That's why I tried to literally seize my chance. I moved both of my hands on the ground. To seize that chance, I felt a piece of broken glass on my right hand. This was truly my chance to literally save myself from the brink of death. You're dead. Ooh, wrist. I cut Rina's wrist deep with the piece of glass. Rina tried to endure the pain for a few seconds. I mean, this is literally self-defense. Just kill her. You know, I don't advocate for killing, but she literally just tried to kill you. I'm fine with this. But the pain that's severe from someone so concerned soon broke her will. She let go of my throat to cling to her bloody wrist. You're dead. I used that moment to roll away from her. Shoulda brought Tepe. She screamed, both in pain and also to try to intimidate me again. It didn't work anymore, though. Intimidation only works on the opponent when the opponent is hesitant to fight. This is a fun scene. This gives me Himatsubushi vibes, I guess. I mean, it's kind of like the Rika scene, huh? And Mayatashi too. When you're already in a fight, screaming like that means nothing more than letting the opponent know how badly you're hurt. I no longer had any hesitation. I had learned from Rina. She taught me what I have to do in a situation like this. That's right, this is my secret hideout. I know every single piece of junk in here. Maybe I knew that a day like this was coming. Was it just a coincidence that it was there? The mighty hatchet. I mean, it made sense if you want to dig stuff up with it. Oh, it's a pipe. Never mind. One day, we'll get the Rena hatchet out again. I'd put out a meter-long lead pipe, not at all surprised to see it there. I raised it up high and brought it back down. There's no way Rena could block this hard and heavy lead pipe with just her arms. She probably tried to block it with the palm of her hand in order to take it from me, but her long nails wouldn't let that happen. Ow. Unable to catch it the way she wanted, she broke her fingers and some of her nails came off too. Ew. I love it. Holy shit. You're dead. Her strain made me realize that I had the advantage. God, I'm just picturing this in my head. It's so good. An advantage I would have to keep. If I didn't, she'd turn the tables just like I did, and then she'd choke me to death for sure. You're dead. Rina shielded her head with her arms, but it didn't help. All that would change is that I'd break her arms before I broke her face. You tried to choke us to death. I'm sorry, no sympathy. I'm serious too. Die, die, die. You should die. Yeah, that's right. I should have done this a long time ago. I didn't need proof. I didn't have to talk to anybody. That's stupid. That's nonsense. I should have done this a long time ago. If I had done this a long time ago, my father wouldn't have been deceived. I could have protected him. I could have protected my family. I could have protected my life. I could have been myself. My mother wouldn't have divorced my father. I could have stayed happy. Yo, what if this... I just realized maybe the scene at the beginning isn't even like farther back near the ending. Maybe it's just gonna happen right after this. And we're just gonna ask the club members to help us. That's interesting. If that could be something. Maybe. Or it could be the ending thing again. My mother wouldn't have divorced my father. I could have stayed happy. I wouldn't have to be unhappy. I'm going to recapture my happiness. At this moment, I'm going to win back my happiness. I'm not going to cry for misfortune. I'm not going to give in to a fate of unhappiness. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to seize my happiness. Right now. With my own 2 hands. Rina tried to run away from me, but as she no longer had the use of her arms, it made it difficult for her to stand up to escape, especially since there were scraps of junk everywhere on the ground. After all, this was my hideout. This is my territory. Nobody can run away from me here. She tried to climb up the slope of the garbage, slipped and fell and rolled all the way back down. She didn't stand up or move. Her eyes were open, and her neck was bent in an unnatural angle. Oh, well. There we go. I didn't know how to make sure she was dead, so I kept looking at her open eyes for a while. She could be faking it for all I know. But she didn't close her eyes no matter how long I waited. I scooped up a handful of sand and threw it on her face. She still didn't close her eyes. Thud. The lead pipe slipped out of my hand and hit the ground. When I tried to pick it up, I realized how heavy it was, and I was surprised that I was wielding it as though it was a knife. I was sweating all over. The cold wind felt good on my skin. The cries of the Higurashi were calming me down and healing my soul. Rina was just like a broken dummy now. She had become a piece of junk. I'm the owner of this land of junk, and I've defended it from her intrusion. Now she was a resident of the junkyard. I didn't feel bad about killing her. In fact, I felt rather fulfilled that I defeated the evil woman who had deceived my father. I started breathing slowly and calmly, and I regained enough energy to analyze the situation. I'd have to hide her body. First, I had to get rid of her scooter. I climbed up the slope and kicked her scooter down the hill. I rolled down the slope, making a lot of noise, and blended in with all the junk as it stopped, like it was there from the beginning. I went back down the slope and started dragging her body to my hideout. It should have taken as much effort as dragging a 50 kg sandbag, but it felt lighter than that. It was just a sandbag, yet it brought disaster to my family. I didn't lure her here in order to kill her. Or did I? Maybe I just didn't notice that I had the intention deep down in my heart. But even so, I felt like this was the best and most expedient solution. There's no better solution than killing her. How wasteful to depend on someone to help me and wait for the day to come when they will. I remembered the murder of Satoshi-kun's aunt that happened last year. And I had no doubt that Satoshi-kun murdered her. But I've never been as convinced as I am right now at this moment. How could he have saved Satoko-chan, other than by killing his aunt last year, at that time, in that circumstance? My situation was much the same as his. How could I have saved my father other than by killing her? If I was planning a murder, I would have been under a lot of pressure and stress. But for better or worse, the moment came to me out of nowhere. That's why. I believe I solved my problem with as little trouble as possible. Now that she's gone, will anyone become suspicious about her disappearance? She was an irresponsible person who skipped work at her own convenience. So she didn't think anybody would get suspicious when she disappeared one day. She was a big mess from the start. People will think she went into the hiding because she got into deep trouble with someone. I didn't need to fabricate an alibi. All I needed to do was get rid of her body. It took me a while to figure out how to do that last part. Hiding her body would be very risky, but my brain had become so calm that it did some calculations and came up with an answer right away. Yes, this place is still the safest. Okay, so it's not going the Higurashi route. Interesting. This is a place forgotten. Nobody comes here. I mean, it could still happen, but obviously Reno's not the one who did it that style, which I thought. Nobody knows this place is here. I knew that because I had been spending a lot of time here. Compared to taking the risk of carrying her body to some other place, it was a lot safer just to hide it here. But it wasn't perfect yet. This place wouldn't remain a secret forever. I could hide it here for now, but I'd have to come up with a perfect way to make it completely disappear. It's a lot easier to think about that than thinking about how to make Rena break up with my father. I stuffed her corpse into a broken refrigerator in a trash pile. I wanted to cover the refrigerator with dirt and bury it, but that was too easy. I had to chop the corpse into pieces and make them completely disappear. I felt like it got dark all of a sudden. No, it didn't get dark all of a sudden. I just didn't realize. It was getting dark until just now. Just then. I could hear thunder from a distance. It might rain soon. I could use some rain. It washed Rena's dirty blood into the ground. I should go home. I should think about what I do tomorrow. I was going to stay right beside my father until he forgets about her. He might be hurt at first, but we're going to recapture our happiness for sure. Our happy, peaceful lives. Chapter break. Joke. My body was heavy with exhaustion. But I also felt fulfilled because I took a very important first step today. I'll keep taking one step after another. I'm not going to cry anymore. I'm not going to cry until I win back my happiness. I'm not going to cry again. There you go. That was freaking intense. I was totally wrong. Rena's already dead. Very interesting. That was cool. I love the scene where she's smashing her with the lead pipe and her hand breaks and stuff. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah, okay, this sounds goated. No, it's not, but it's great. But yeah, that was fun. That was a good chapter. We'll talk about the implications of that next time. So hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you did, well, next one's Monday, so I believe this is Saturday. This is Saturdays. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. I'll see you next time, and thank you for watching. Have a great rest of the day or night, whatever. See you guys soon. Goodbye.